Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets and our co-host Zacks Small Cap Research, we are very pleased you have joined us for our quarterly conference. Our next presentation is from Vycor Medical. Please note you may submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings by clicking Book Meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Peter Zachariou, Chief Executive Officer, and David Cantor, President and Director of Vycor Medical, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol VYCO. Welcome, Peter.
Hi. Safe harbor statement. Clearly, we're not going to say anything that we believe to be untrue during this presentation. But as always, investors, please conduct your own due diligence. Vycor Medical is dedicated to providing the medical community with neurosurgical devices and therapeutic solutions. Our main product lines are Vycor's ViewSite Brain Access System and NovaVision's VRT, NEC, and VIDIT, all of which adopt a minimally or non-invasive approach. Our ViewSite Brain Access System is a must-have for neurosurgeons, especially if it's a deep or complicated surgery that they're conducting. It's a one-time use disposable device. NovaVision it has a family of complementary therapies that assist people that have lost vision as a result of stroke or TBI. Let's first discuss the ViewSite Brain Access System. VBAS is a validated technology. It has been improved in over 300 hospitals in the United States, and we have an international presence. The technology is protected by 46 granted patents and 11 pending patents in the US and internationally. We have a significant body of peer-reviewed studies, numerous other clinical papers that all point to improved patient outcomes, reduction of hospital costs. For the last 50 years, neurosurgeons have been using what's called a traditional blade retractor. If you look at the right-hand box here, you can see a picture of it. It's a metal blade that resembles a bread knife. And what would happen is once a surgeon had gained access to the brain, he would use 2 or 3 of these spatulas in order to separate the brain to reach his target. It has sharp edges, it's made of metal, could cause damage. Below it, you'll see a picture of our VBAS device, which is a clear, transparent tube with an introducer, where the surgeon presses gently on the VBAS to reach his target within the brain, removes the introducer, and then has a safe working channel to work from. Much less damage is caused by our VBAS. Less brain tissue damage, less invasive. The shape of our VBAS and the blunt tip all result in a requirement of a smaller cortectomy. So a smaller incision makes for a much less invasive surgery. Surgeon also gave us feedback that surgery times are much faster using VBAS. Here you can see on the left side a picture of a standard retractor, and on the right side you see VBAS. This is where a surgeon has inserted the VBAS and reached his target. You can see that he has a clear working channel to work from. Also, the tissue surrounding the VBAS is protected, makes for potentially less damage, less accident to occur. Better access and improved working channel. The patented elliptical shape provides a widened working channel for neurosurgeons. It also gives them a better visualization, intraoperative visualization. Neuronavigation. Neuronavigation is the GPS for neurosurgery in the sense that once a surgeon has removed the bone and it's going to enter the brain, he uses neuronavigation to ensure that he always hits the target. We strive to make our devices as compatible as possible with neuronavigation. You can see in the picture below where the neuronavigation pointers are clipped into the VBAS. So the surgeon can essentially use our VBAS as the pointer. When he reaches his target, he can remove the introducer, and then he'll have his clear working channel right at the target. VBAS saves lives. Many doctors have told us that they've conducted surgeries that were considered previously inoperable. Because VBAS creates far less damage, we believe that surgeons now, as these two have evidenced here, are able to carry out surgeries that they considered inoperable in the past. ICH, a new exciting opportunity. ICH, essentially, what we're looking to do here is demonstrate that VBAS is an effective, minimally invasive tool that can be used to remove blood clots from the brain. We have a few surgeons using VBAS for this application, not many. We have 2 studies going on, one in Switzerland and one in the United States, and we're hoping that that demonstrates that VBAS is an effective tool for the removal of blood clots from the brain. What that will mean for us is that it opens up that market, which is estimated to be twice as high as the tumor market. Our strategic vision. Our objective is to gain the critical mass and growth profile required to uplist to a recognized exchange. And we plan to do this through 1, organic growth, 2, product development, 3, acquisition and mergers. Vycor VBAS is a high-margin niche medical device, but it's a must-have for surgeons that conducting surgery on very difficult objects to take out of the brain. So as a result, we have a tremendous reach and strength in our distribution. So any new product that we were to adopt that fits in with our distribution network could be distributed easily and effectively. Our organic growth and development, we continue to focus on US hospitals. We're in over 300 right now. We hope to be in a lot more over the next few years. And one of our biggest focus is the international markets. We plan to make VBAS available in every applicable country. ICH that we've just discussed is a growth opportunity. We're waiting for those 2 clinical studies. We think they'll be positive. We're also working to develop surgeon tools for use with VBAS that will also help in the minimally invasive approach. Acquisition, merger, and growth strategy. So we're seeking products and businesses to complement VBAS and Vycor's strong distribution network. We've spoken about VBAS being much less damaging to patients. We've talked about patients being discharged earlier from hospitals. We've talked about less products being used during surgery, faster surgeries. And more importantly, some inoperable surgeries have been conducted, or previously considered inoperable surgeries have been conducted with VBAS. We believe that our company gives us the ability to grow by acquiring companies or similar products or devices that we can distribute through this strong distribution channel and our KOL relationships. To this end, we have retained Maxim Group to assist us with this strategic objective and to identify potential targets for us to acquire. I'd like to introduce you to David Cantor, who will speak about Novavision.
Thank you. Novavision has therapies that are targeted at vision disorders that result from stroke. I think everyone knows that stroke is a big market. There's a stroke every 40 seconds. There's 8 million stroke survivors in the United States. But what people don't know is that 30% of stroke survivors actually have a visual disorder, and 20% of those have a permanent visual field deficit. What that translates into is a very large market opportunity. We estimate that to be around $2 billion in the United States. When you lose your vision, you actually lose your vision in both eyes, which makes it very hard for you to compensate. The most common vision loss is called a hemianopia, and that accounts for 2/3 of the vision losses. In a hemianopia, you actually lose half your vision in both your eyes. Now, core rehabilitation at the moment is focused on speech, occupational, and physical, but there's nothing for vision. Novavision is going to focus in on that opportunity there. Now, in addition to losing your vision, you actually lose control of your eyes. And what I mean by that is you find it very difficult to scan effectively the environment. So to put it simply, If you put a person in front of a supermarket shelves and you ask them to find the ketchup, they will have a very hard time doing so because they won't be able to scan the shelves effectively to identify the object. Nova Vision has therapies targeted at both these conditions. Our proof of concept vision restoration therapy has 15 years of research behind it and 20 clinical studies showing that 70% of patients demonstrate an improvement. It's FDA cleared, it's prescription-based, and it's delivered over computer to the patient at home. It's tailor-made to that patient's blindness, and that therapy is adjusted every month over the course of a therapy life. Neuro Eye Coach, which deals with the compensation of one's vision, so the scanning mechanism, was created by Joseph Zeal and No Vision in conjunction with Arash Sari, Chair of Vision at the University of Aberdeen. And this was drawn over 40 years of research and distilled into the Neuro Eye Coach product. This product was then subjected to the largest clinical study ever done of its kind. And the results were staggering, with 80+% of improvements, both in accuracy and speed. This is a depiction of someone with hemianopia. So on the left-hand side, as I mentioned, the patient actually can't see half the picture. Now, post-vision restoration, on the right-hand side, you'll see that not all the vision loss is gone, but a few degrees of vision has changed the picture dramatically and enables a person significant benefits in daily living. In some cases, it's even given them the driving license back. The next picture is a depiction of Neuro Eye Coach and is used with an eye tracker. So on the left-hand side, you see the eye movements of the patient before the therapy. You'll see that he makes small eye shifts, many fixations, much longer scanning time to see the picture. Whereas on the right-hand side, post-Neuro Eye Coach, you'll see that he makes much larger eye movements, much fewer fixations, and a much shorter scanning time. So what is the opportunity for these therapies? Well, VRT and Neuro Eye Coach first are well placed in the digital health space. You know, that's an increasing global trend that's going on to reduce the burden on healthcare systems and treat patients at home. And both these therapies are delivered over web into the patient's home. Now, No Vision, and VRT in particular, is the only FDA cleared therapy for the treatment of such blindness, the only one. And as such, there is no real competition out there. As I estimated previously, we estimate that the market opportunity in the US is around $2 billion. And the KOLs that we've been speaking to believe that if we adapt the proof of concept VRT through certain changes that I'll be discussing, we should be in a position to capture 4 to 6% of the market, which equates to, you know, over $100 million market opportunity. So what's our strategy? Well, we have a strategy near term for Neuro Eye Coach. As I said, Neuro Eye Coach, in our opinion, is the gold standard out there for scanning techniques. So what we believe we should do with that product today is seek partners in other verticals, because we believe there's applicability in other areas so that we can monetize it. Certain verticals such as sports or security markets or gaming all have applicability for Neuro Eye Coach and the ability to scan the environment effectively. So what we plan on doing is take the sports arena for one, partner with someone in that space that's familiar with that space. So we won't be going it alone, but we will develop products targeted for that vertical leveraging off our Neuro Eye Coach platform. So on a sports pitch, it's important to be able to scan the pitch quickly and effectively, and Neuro Eye Coach can help you do that. In terms of the medical space, what we plan on doing on Neuro Eye Coach is changing the delivery mechanism. At the moment, NeuroEye Coach is delivered over web onto the computer, onto the patient's computer. But we know that NeuroEye Coach benefits from a much larger screen, and not all patients have large screens. Now, hitherto, we haven't been able to do this because the price of goggles was very high. But as the price of goggles has come down, we believe that we can deliver NeuroEye Coach onto goggles, which will provide the same benefits as if they were on a very large screen. NovaVision's VRT is a therapy that is done over a course of 6 months. It's done twice daily, 6 days a week for 6 months. It's a very long therapy and quite demanding given the patient profile that we are treating. What we believe is we need to reduce the time frame and increase the efficacy, or at least maintain the efficacy of the therapy. There's been a study done by Harvard in which it combined our vision restoration therapy with transcranial direct current stimulation. And the results were quite amazing. So it received the same amount of efficacy in approximately half the time. And that is something we want to explore as part of our development work. We also want to try and reduce the costs. At the moment, as I said, the therapy is delivered over the computer to the patient, but that therapy is actually generated manually and is adjusted every month manually by our physicians. We believe that with the introduction of artificial intelligence, we can feed the previous prescriptions into the artificial intelligence and have them automate the clinical adjustments so that the physician will actually just sign off on the therapy that the artificial intelligence generates. Now, what that will do is not only speed up the process, but it will also allow the clinician to handle many more patients. We understand that new clinical data will be required, so we'll have to do another study on the basis of the changes that we've made. And that study, we will involve senior key opinion leaders in the space so that we get broad buy-in. And also, given the age profile of the stroke patients, we believe that we should look at reimbursement. Now, these changes will not be done immediately, and management will determine the right time for the company and the shareholders to undertake this project. So to sum up, why would you invest in Vycor Medical? Well, first of all, the management team and the investor community and the investors of the company, our interests are perfectly aligned. Management owns 60% of the business. We're a small business, but we're not losing money. We're not burning hundreds of dollars. We're actually cash operative positive. And we've got a clear strategy to grow our core Vycor VBAS business, leverage of its existing platform, and we've hired Maxim to do that. And finally, as I've just mentioned, we have no vision with a very exciting market potential. So I want to thank you for listening. I'll hand it over to questions now.
Okay, I see we now have some questions. You talk about an acquisition strategy. What sort of businesses are you looking to acquire? Well, as I may have mentioned in the presentation, we're seeking any devices or products that can be sold to operating theaters, or indeed anything that can be sold into a hospital. Our VBAS is a must-have really for neurosurgeons conducting complicated or deep surgeries. And as a result, we've built up a substantial number of key opinion leader relationships. And that combined with our very strong distribution network should ensure that any suitable device that we acquire or product that we acquire will get into the right hands very quickly. Another question here, why is ICH interesting as a new market and why is it different to tumors? Historically, the surgeon community has not really intervened with ICH, the removal of intracerebral hemorrhage. But now devices such as VBAS or tubular retractors have made surgical intervention a real possibility and a probability. in the sense that they make surgical intervention now safer and more effective. As I may have mentioned, we have 2 studies that are ongoing, one in Switzerland and one in the US. And we believe that they will demonstrate that VBAS is an effective and safe tool to use in these ICH cases. We do have a few surgeons using them for ICH, but we think that the studies will certainly help convince other neurosurgeons to participate. I mentioned that our device is a disposable once-use device. We sell it to hospitals for $695. And we estimate that hospitals save up to $6,000 per procedure. And the reason for that is because faster surgery times, faster recovery times for the patient, far less damage, less consumables being used. And we believe that it should be the same. The same should apply to ICH cases, making them also cost-effective for hospitals. What is Vycor's international footprint? Well, currently, we're in some of the key markets internationally, such as Canada, Japan, the UK, some countries within Europe. We just recently signed new distribution agreements with Spain, France. We're in training now with Portugal and Malaysia. And it is our intention to make VBAS available in every applicable country around the world. And we are very focused on this. We think it's a significant opportunity for us to expand growth and sales. Thank you so much for participating in this presentation. We'll respond to any other questions via email, and we'll be open to setting up one-on-one meetings if required.